Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. I tell you, every once in a while, people need a lawyer. And in our litigious society that we live in, that's one of the few growth industries is law and regulations and issues that can really be difficult for individuals and for businesses. And so we've been doing a series about recognized super lawyers, recognized by various organizations and groups, and we're delighted to have Wayne Kitchens on the show today. And Wayne, welcome to the program. First of all, tell us about the law firm. And the website over there, by the way, is hwa.com.
Well, Kevin, first of all, thanks for having me on the program. I'm the co-managing partner of Hughes Waters Askinase, as you said, hwa.com. We were formed in 1978. We are a general business law firm. I'm board certified in business bankruptcy, and our kind of sweet spot on the bankruptcy side of things is small to mid-sized companies. We also have a very large real estate litigation and mortgage servicing practice.
Okay, very good. And how long have you personally been practicing?
I hate to say it, but 32 years.
Yeah, well, don't hate to say it.
U of H, proud Cougar grad.
Go Cougs. Absolutely, yeah. I've got I did graduate work there myself, and I've got two graduates who are children of mine, and so I just been in awe to see what's happened at the University of Houston the last few years. It's been really amazing. Talk a little bit about what's happening in your front. I'm assuming you're probably a little busy these days.
We are a little busier than we have been in the past. There's a lot going on, as you can well imagine, in the oil and gas industry. What we're seeing mainly is fallout in the service companies, well services. There's also a big controversy going on right now with the midstream folks who are the pipeline companies. There was an opinion issued out of New York a couple of weeks ago in the Sabine Energy case, which is actually a Houston company, allowing Sabine to apparently reject their transportation contracts with the midstream transportation companies. There's just a lot going on with that right now. The midstream companies are trying to find a commercial solution without having a court issue an opinion that officially allows those rejections.
Yes, and talk about how that looks.
Don't know how it looks right now. The New York judge who issued the opinion basically gave what we call an advisory opinion, and the legal industry that follows this is not really sure how to interpret that. So what's going to happen in the coming weeks in both the Sabine case and what's called the Quicksilver case in Delaware, I think are going to be very telling, and we're all watching that very closely. The other things that we are looking at is what is going to be the fallout for individuals who may lose their jobs with all the cutbacks that are happening in the industry right now. Is that going to affect foreclosure rates, default rates on things like cars? I mean, we just don't know yet. I like to use a phrase with clients and also talking about stuff like this, that sometimes the chicken has had its head cut off, but it doesn't know that it's dead yet. Mm-hmm. And people wait a long time before they actually seek advice from people like me.
Yeah, absolutely. And then what they go is from a situation that was a concern into a crisis.
And oftentimes what happens is the crisis has gone on for so long that what happens is we bankruptcy practitioners are left with no alternative other than to advise the client, the company, to file a Chapter 7, which is a liquidation case, rather than a Chapter 11, which is a reorganization case, because there's not the cash flow to continue operating the business in a Chapter 11, which you have to have unless you have financing going forward.
Right. Right. In other words, you'll be selling your business anyway. What including your interest in that, more than likely, in order to try to save yourself in that situation. So it's very important to come early rather than late.
Come early rather than late. My firm has a large Chapter 7 trustee practice. Chapter 7 trustees are people who are appointed by the Department of Justice, and they oversee liquidations in Chapter 7. So we've done a lot of those where people and companies simply waited too late, and those trustees are charged with liquidating the assets of those companies to pay creditors as much as they can which is often not very much because they've waited too late.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you, what percentage of your current cases are in the energy space?
I filed a relatively large case in the Western District in Austin on Monday. We are seeing new clients on a weekly basis. As I said, our sweet spot are small to mid-sized companies, usually in the service industry, and that's the kind of people we're talking to right now.
Mm-hmm. Right. So these are probably like midstream companies in the energy space.
No, not really midstream companies. They are the peripherals that surround
the support companies.
The support
really.
companies.
Yeah. What are some other
those
industries?
are hurting.
What are some other industries that are businesses, types of businesses that are being hit right now with bankruptcy outside of the energy space?
Well, because I've been doing this for so long, what we're going to start seeing is people like restaurants and hotels and the people who support even the support companies. We have seen some activity, especially in the Eagle Ford Shale, with, I'm not going to call them mom and pops because they're bigger than that, but people that would support the drillers out there who are now having a lot of trouble.
So do you think it's looking like the late 1980s again?
Yep.
Really?
I really do. I think that we have some problems probably going into 2018. The folks that I talk to in my industry and my peers believe that it's probably going to be 18 before we see a price recovery, if then. So we think there's some real problems ahead.
That's interesting. And I'm assuming, you've been doing this for a long time, and of course, you've got the reputation as outstanding in your field. So are the vast majority of your clients come through word of mouth?
They do come through word of mouth. They come through referrals from other attorneys. My partners and associates and I make it a practice to speak at industry events, continuing legal education seminars, etc. And that is how we get the vast majority of our work.
Yeah, very good. Final thoughts on anyone out there who's got financial troubles?
I'm not going to name any names because I may be meeting with them soon, but it's coming. What I'm more worried about is the human being side of this and the fallout that's going to happen when people do lose their jobs, can't pay their mortgages. I don't do personal bankruptcies myself, but I have a lot of friends who do, and that. I'm sorry for the companies, but I'm really more worried about the human content here.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good. Thanks so much for being with us.
I thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You bet. And the website again?
HWA.com.
HWA.com. Make sure you check it out. Wayne Kitchens, he's been our guest, and a great one, too. When we come back, we're going to have much more for you. I do want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at usdailyreview.com. While there, like it on Facebook, follow it on Twitter. And this is The Price of Business.